We brought to you details of the report, the forensic report, the autopsy report into the death of OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji, the Indian-American Suchir Balaji, who was found dead mysteriously at his home in San Francisco. The mother of Suchir Balaji is live on This Is Exclusive. And I have the exclusive details as well with me on the show. We have the graphics, let's put out the graphics. Those were pictures that Republic TV accessed that proved that there was a lot that did not add up. And we have details of the autopsy report with us on the show this evening. Let me go across to Purnima. Purnima is joining me live. Purnima is the mother of Suchir Balaji, along with Professor Dinesh Rao, who's a forensic expert. Both of them joining me on the show this evening. Okay, and I also have the father of Suchir Balaji, Mr. Balaji, joining us. Purnima and Mr. Balaji, thank you for joining us on the show this evening. First of all, when you shared that report with us, when you saw that report first up, what did you think about what was in it? What were the inconsistencies that you spotted, and why do you believe it's murder? Purnima.
Yes, their own report points to homicide. Like, first and foremost, I'll talk about the SFPD's inconsistencies. Number one, there is something called spent casing that falls off the gun when the bullet is fired. It was not off, it was still in the chamber. So what are they telling? They did the ballistic testing. Then the second one is about SFPD is telling that they've reviewed the CCTV footage. No, they haven't. We spoke to the leasing office of the apartment complex. They've never requested key fob. They said they reviewed it and they haven't picked up the CCTV footage. And they also make incorrect claim that there is only one entrance, and we've seen the CCTV footage. There are 3 entrances to the building. All these point that SFPD has not done the proper investigation. And the most contradicting fact is the amount of drugs that has been given to him. There's so many drugs. With that amount of drugs, he can't even move his hand or anything. How can he even shoot himself? That's where actually the inconsistency is, and that's what makes it move towards homicide. I'll let my husband explain.
Yeah, the toxicology report says there are different drugs were used step by step. It looks like somebody was there to extract some information from him by introducing different sedatives, and they call date rape drug. So it's a kind of chemicals which can be introduced through, we found some Gatorade bottle there. So they could have mixed that to introduce the sedatives, we feel. And we couldn't find any hard liquor was drunk there. And we have to analyze. We are still investigating the different glasses found there, and we have to find that fingerprint and other chemical analysis we are doing. We'll find out some detail from that.
Now, I have some more details here with me. I'm reading out some of the details, and I want you to come in, Purnima ji, because one, the toxicology report, the details of that. You're also talking about the distance between the gun and the body, which was nearly 30 centimeters. You're saying that that shows, or rather supports, the homicide angle. Is that correct? You're also saying that the SFPD stated that they reviewed the CCTV and key fib. But you're saying that the truth is they never even asked for it from the apartment. They requested CCTV footage but never picked up. So if they never picked up any of this evidence, never examined this evidence, how was an autopsy report finalized in the first place? How did they prepare this report if they did not collect the evidence?
Yeah, that looks like it, like that's how inefficient or incompetent this SFPD is. They just want to quickly disclose it. And also, the fact is, when they saw the toxicology report, they needed to take his state into account. And they also need to look at the amount of the blood in and the urine. That means there is alcohol has been given to him. First of all, my son is a social drinker. He was never drinking alcohol like that. Second of all, there is no purchase receipt of alcohol. There's no empty bottles found. Police themselves said they could not find any drugs in the apartment. They searched thoroughly. And where did this come into his system? Right? And as you pointed out, yes, the wound like looks like the gun was held at 25 to 30 centimeter away from him. Though they claim they found the GSR on his hand, like that distance is really unrealistic for anyone. We are getting some kind of conclusive reports very soon, and we'll share that with you.
Yes. Stay with me because I also have Professor Dinesh Rao joining us. Professor Dinesh Rao is a forensic expert and he's been working closely with your family as well. So I requested him if he could join us on this show. And what do you make of this, Professor Dinesh Rao, when you look at the details of the autopsy report? Does it back what the family has been saying all along, that this was a clear case of murder, that Suchir Balaji was murdered? Is that your conclusion, your reading of the report? Can you unmute yourself, Professor Rao? You're muted. Can you unmute yourself, please, on Zoom? Yeah.
Yeah, the family did raise the doubts after the crime scene photographs were released. And after close observation, and their doubts were indeed valid, and it is scientifically valid. And based on those photographs, we had already stated that the crime scene was inadequate and unscientific and incomplete. And now, since the report is out, based on the report, it further endorses the concerns of the family. And the scientific facts which has been documented by the medical examiner's office itself contradicts their suicide theory. For example, like Purnima had rightly pointed out, see, the presence of alcohol mixed with drugs, we call it as drug synergism, which increases the toxicity. That means to say, when the individual is not able to stand on his feet or able to control himself, how he is able to handle the gun? That is number one. And second thing is, based on their own report, which endorses that the entry wound doesn't have either the gunpowder stippling or so-called tattooing or even the burning or blackening. That means to say that the guns has been fired beyond the range of so-called gunpowder, means 30 to 40 centimeter away from the entrance wound, which is unlikely to be we see in a cases of suicide. These are the two main important things. And above all, have you ever heard that autopsy of this nature has been done partially? We usually expected in a place like US, where at least they do a complete postmortem exam. Leave over we already pointed out it's an incomplete crime scene examination.
Yes.
Even incomplete or inadequate so-called postmortem examination. And with all this incompleteness and inadequate or unscientific postmortem examination, unscientific crime scene examination, it is highly ridiculous that they come into a conclusion that it is a case of suicide.
No, Purnima ji, I'll play out the pictures full frame of the scene of crime where he was found dead, right? I'm not saying it's murder or it's a case of suicide. Of course, you're the best judge of that. There is a report, though we don't trust that report. But looking at all of these videos, it's clear that there was some element of foul play. Even when we saw the video, it appeared like the crime scene was tampered with. He was a whistleblower against OpenAI, and we know the kind of powerful people perhaps at play, the powerful lobbies at work. You have a Trump government in place now. Is the Trump government or anybody in the Trump administration hearing you out? Are you speaking to anybody? What is their take on this? Are you getting any help? Because it appears even the Trump government is closely working with the companies that we are discussing here. Purnimaji.
We haven't reached out to Trump government yet because the still election of FBI director is yet to be confirmed. Once it's confirmed, we'll reach out to them. This report is very helpful. This autopsy report they have given is very helpful to reach out to FBI. We really need thorough investigation into his death. Like, first of all, since SFPD failed, it's easy for us to take it to FBI.
Okay. My last question to you, what next? What next for you and for your family?
Next would be to prove it's a homicide. We have strategic steps to be taken. We're working on it. In next few weeks, we'll come out with a
Has
homicide.
anybody reached out to your family for a settlement?